who actually can find the first strike in these matchups. Like, when we're talking about knife fights, it really is about who can actually dish damage first. And both of these comps are so fragile. Like, if they get touched, they instantly implode. So, oh, this is super interesting. I love these type of like FPS games coming into the Rift right here. But I will say overall, I do feel like Beyond Gaming is actually a little bit more comfortable with this type of a style. We're going to be heading on to the Rift here. We'll see if we have some level 1 shenanigans right off the bat. A very strong level 1 setup from J-Team, as they do have the Leona here and the individual burst damage. Hail of Blades being selected. And we do have the Ignite coming in from Uniboy this time.
Yeah, once again, for the side of J-Team, what we talked about in game number 2, the Malphite remedying a lot of their decisiveness. This time, they've gone for the Gnar in the top lane. They are once more going to lack a bit of a clear long-range engage. Yes, you're going to have Mega Gnar, but that's only when you have Mega Gnar, which is only half the time as Gnar. But at the very least, they have a lot more range with this Kai'Sa. But on the flip side, you're answering back with the Xayah and with this Jace. So I like the look of Beyond Gaming's composition initially, but still, Uniboy on a playmaker, Kongre on the Lee Sin.
And this mid-jungle matchup is so interesting because we do have the summoners swapped around. The last time Uniboy, the last game, Uniboy actually was the one to take the Ignite on the LeBlanc. This time Minji is going for the teleport here. So we do have a bit of a level 1 scuffle right here. Wako does target out Little V. And you don't really see that Acathian Rain coming out just yet. A bit of a one trade here by Beyond Gaming.
Actually, he did press Q, and it did a whole lot of no damage on Takino. And I mean, this is why we haven't seen Kai'Sa pop up until very recently. And that's just because her lane trades are just not that good at the moment with the Q, just because of how much damage has been peeled off of that skill in recent times. And also a big change is the fact that both of these supports have gone for the Aftershock, understanding early trades are going to be very important.
Oh, we do have the early level 3 from Minji. He steps in, but doesn't exactly take a decidedly favorable trade right here. Uniboy is even going to get the HP lead this time around, finding the charm onto that trade. And we do have the jungle starts here. I think Beyond Gaming have kind of shown their hand by leashing for the bottom side. Minji again going for some trades here. And we do have a potential uncontested gank coming in from Kongre. Let's see if Beyond Gaming can sniff this one out. Or if Kongre is going to go in at all. Let's see, he finally does go through the
He
Tri
will be
Brush.
spotted out on that ward, though, if he decides to come out of Tri, which is exactly what happens there. So, with both of these mid laners resetting, I think it actually favors Uniboy because the big advantage that you're looking for with this teleport LeBlanc is you use all your corrupting potions, force Uniboy to use all of his as well, but then if you're able to keep him locked in lane and get a teleport back yourself, then you have a resource advantage. But Uniboy identifies this, finds his own back timing, and he essentially makes this lane a wash, which is going to give advantage over to him at the moment because he's the one with the combat summoner.
Exactly, and we can see that Uniboy is taking all the CS lead. I will say one thing for Minji here is that he is going up into the worst jungle matchup in the early game. It's definitely a lot more kill threat coming in from the Lee Sin. But Uniboy nonetheless does seem to be winning both sides of this matchup this series. Driver going to go in for some trades. Let's see if he can find the wallop. Leon already with the extra movement speed is going to get out of harm's way. And we are having, once again, I think a fairly quiet early game. We do have the charm once again landing. Minji just isn't able to dodge away on these charms like Uniboy did in the previous game. Or I feel like Uniboy did a much better job at knowing that his Distort had to land behind the Ahri to get the full potential of the trade.
Yeah, and I think also that plays to the spacing differential. played by both of these Ari players, right? Uniboy putting a little bit more space between him and Minji when he knows Minji wants to come in with the distortion, just to keep him in front of him. So when he does come in with the distort, it makes it a lot easier to land that charm. Now, Koyue trying to set up a dive, but Liang is weary of it, so he's just gonna sprint his way out.
Does land the Q on a minion, but doesn't matter. He still is able to deny here, and this should force the flash from Liang. Let's see how many minions he's going to miss. I've counted already 3 minions, full EXP missed right here. A pretty good lead for the Gnar in this one. And, you know, we have seen Gnars just be able to dominate this matchup sometimes. In the meantime, bot lane, kind of a wash in terms of the trade, to be expected before the serrated Dirks. And here comes Kongra. This is information disadvantage on J-Team's side, as Kongra is spotted out, sitting on a ward. Husha is also spotted, so I guess nothing was ever going to happen to begin with. And we finally have the levels up. The big thing here is, of course, Husha is 1 level up, so it should be closer to Paranoia compared to Kongra. And Kino gonna get tagged out here behind enemy lines. He might just be going down here. Flashes forward, Little V follows. That's first blood.
And at long last, J-Team's bot lane duo able to find an opening. That is going to feel real good for our J-Team fans, seeing this bot lane 2v2 at least be able to strike first this time around. And that bodes well, of course, for Lil V getting, accelerated in his build path, because we know AP Kai'Sa has a very slow ramp up. Of course, if it ends up being the AD Kai'Sa build, does come online just a little bit earlier, so maybe they opt for that, but I can't imagine that when AP Kai'Sa has been the mainstay at the moment.
For sure. Luden's Echo, the late game 2 Ws to find a kill. Void Seeker's doing tons of damage. I do like the AP build quite a bit here. I do love that cheeky play from J-Team. I love it when bot lane duos just fake they're going to back and try to catch people out. It's always kind of fun to see. It feels like such a minuscule way to play, and just kind of a small bit of trickery, but it works a lot more than people expect it to. So always love to see that one. And again, Uniboy does find the charm, but the power of LeBlanc is starting to show through as well. He does find the CS lead. And I think we are getting to the point where maybe Paranoia can come online. Usually I would say the Nocturne matchup starts to win from this point on, has a lot more map impact. So we'll see if Kongra can still keep tabs on Husha throughout this top side.
Yeah, and now with, of course, the Nocturne online, they can also take a look at approaching the 1-3-1, right? You have Minji in a pretty comfortable position, not in the CS deficit. Yes, Uniboy is still very comfortable on where he is in this game, because he's going to be very close to his Mythic if he wants to opt towards that direction, and because Minji has opted for tier 2 boots. So as of now, perhaps a difference in power spike and itemization with the boots, looking to impact the map, play more of the rotational play, and Uniboy, of course, prioritizing Mythic, wants to be as powerful to optimize his chances at fighting lethal.
Ooh, now misses the slowdown. Paranoia has to be dropped early to save the top lane, but let's see if he actually gets in range. Oh, that was a preemptive Paranoia just to stop the game from developing. Well done, but they still lose resources on that without achieving any kills. Charm again found by Uniboy, just making this matchup so much better than Minji did on the flip side. And Husha starts this one in plain vision. I'm not so sure about this one, as Enso does come by to join.
Top lane shove.
Do have JT members coming down, and Beyond Gaming does call it quits.
Yeah, J-Team had the top lane wave priority, which meant that they would be able to pull an extra member faster, but looks like Beyond Gaming's still interested in trying to make things interesting here. Liang setting up. He is now grouped up with the squad, but a little bit too late. The impact isn't going to be found by that Jace at the moment, so they will go ahead, back off, concede Rift Herald, as both AD carries also trying to make their way over. But with how strong, again, this is lethality. Xayah, the spikes a little bit harder than the Kaisa on these items. Again, it's mostly because of the nerfs to the champion. It means that Lil V, he can't walk into lane. He has to take a very safe approach. Instead, ends up just resetting and taking a back.
Still a pretty massive win for J-Team overall, as Beyond Gaming actually wasted a lot of time leashing that Herald for J-Team. Very nicely done for J-Team. And they just steamroll into the first tower here. Beyond Gaming trying to equalize on the bottom side. Doesn't look like they have the tempo just yet. And once again, we saw this in Game 1. J-Team going for the double tower charge. Completely unanswered here from Beyond Gaming. Lots of gold going over to Driver. He's going to be in a very comfortable position afterwards. 2-for-1 trade. I cannot imagine J-Team being happier here. And they also spotted the back from the Nautilus here. So they will force an extra flash. Well done. Not even a trade.
It will be a flash-for-flash trade in that bottom lane. And J-Team overall went out because of the first brick falling into their hands, along with that additional tower. On the flip side, for Beyond Gaming, they were only able to secure that one bot tower. So, at the very least, we are seeing the adaptations come out from J-Team, right? Because we talked about, hey, you just need to stop playing around bot lane. Lil V has not really performed up to par, at least in the lane phase. Just make sure he's on a bit more of a scaling option and allow him to play more defensively, and then funnel resources towards Driver. Driver, I mean, he is put in a position to succeed on that Gnar. Getting that extra gold from the turret plates is going to be very close to the Triforce, and once he gets that completed, definitely holds potential kill threat onto a champ
Minji
like
gets
Chase.
charmed up, but is able to still dodge away from the Q. Paranoia comes in straight onto the Ahri. Can they find the fear? No! Husha goes down, and J-Team in a commanding lead now in the mid lane. Once again, Kongyue and Uniboy over Minji and Husha.
And this mid-jungle duo that we pointed out from J-Team, also the other win condition, just because of how much veterancy is in these two players. Of course, played together over on AHQ. They had a brief stint filling in for PSG at Worlds. And, I mean, this was probably one of the highlight LMS duos at the time. And they are performing up to par. So, very, very good signs from J-Team that really all the win conditions that you like to see from them, at least coming into this series, are being played to.
Oh boy, Uniboy just cannot miss on these charms. He's been able to outplay these trades despite switching the position around, and that flash to break the tether into the easy cleanup kill by Kongyue. Beautifully done here once again. J-Team, very much like Game 1, are off to a decided lead. 2,000 gold here, and I feel like Beyond Gaming just hasn't been able to draw any of their pieces together. They have a minuscule lead in the bottom side. Really not worth mentioning lead in the top, and probably a loss because of the tower gold for Driver. And we are getting into the phase where Drakes are going to start to matter right here. Looking at the game difference overall, about a 3,000 gold lead for J-Team.
Yeah, and the issue right now is, although Wako does have a bit of a power spike lead at the moment, unfortunately, he isn't able to be as proactive on this Xayah pick as something like a Varus, right? Where he can just ult to generate picks. If you ult as the Xayah, you put yourself at big risk, and it's not even securing the pick or making sure you lock down a target. But now Death Bush set up.
Here comes the squad flash straight into the depth charge onto Lee Sin, but that doesn't seem to be the prime target here. J-Team able to kite out, deal a lot of damage. First target gonna go down for J-Team. The charm doesn't land. Uniboy still trying to go in and find a little bit more, and in goes Little B. The flash in to avoid the depth charge. He's gonna find a second kill before dropping down. And J-Team with another strong win. 2 for 3 trade. Leon trying to claw one back. Can't find the damage as Uniboy is right there blocking things.
And it will be a very massive win for the side of J Team. They go 3-4-1. Unfortunately, the Dragon not quite up and available, so we are going to have the run back when it comes to these 5v5s as we get to see the replay. Kino, Husha immediately jump in, but the target selection not quite there. They jump onto a very mobile target in the Lee Sin. Also has a lot of safety, and the amount of damage they take allows Lil V to play very patiently and get onto the backline at the very last moments, be able to get the double kill before dropping himself. But I mean, the AP Kaisa, she shouldn't have that much early impact, but when you get that double kill, it accelerates your build that much faster, and it looks really good at the moment for J Team, because Beyond Gaming, they're lacking what the side of J Team lacked in game one, which is a clear engage tool to set yourself up for these team fights.
It does seem like Beyond Gaming, as you mentioned, without the engage, they were just banking on 1-3-1 to somehow work out for them, but they're not ahead in their solo lanes. I feel like consistently, Driver and your Unit Boy, with the help of Kongyura, is able to keep Beyond Gaming down, and with that being the case, that really leaves Beyond Gaming with narrow win conditions. They don't have the same sort of like jousting power, I would say, compared to J Team, and they're now taking a defensive posture. You're seeing J Team invade and siege as 5 against a Paranoia, so Nocturne can't really find all of that utility down anymore. We'll see how Beyond Gaming figure a way to come back, but I'm not sure I see a very clear path to one.
Yeah, they need to find a way to somehow get into that 1-3-1 position, but with how far or how ineffective Minji has been so far on these side lanes, it will be very difficult. He will have the Everfrost online on his next back, and I mean, this build really just showcases that they're lacking ways to secure picks. So instead of the damage-oriented build of the Ludens on the LeBlanc, they're pivoting towards the more pick-oriented Everfrost to try and help out in that cause.
Well, if they want to find a pick, they better do it quickly. Beyond Gaming is starting to lose out on not only the map control, the side lanes, but just the raw damage potential here as well. You have the Triforce completed on the one side, and a lot of damage coming in from Little V here as well. Let's see if Minji can find anyone. Uniboy is going to be looking for the charm. Does find the stun down. Ignite down for Leon. Can he actually survive this? The ticks are still coming through, and he gets away! The last tick does not manage to kill Leon. J-Team also dropped the Herald in the mid lane to, they're still probably going to get this tower in this 5v4, but of course you have to expect that they wanted to get the kill right off of the bat here.
Yeah, and they are able to get that tower at the very least, open things up, allow themselves to get better vision priority when it comes to setting up for these objective fights, and of course, they've struggled a little bit when it comes to the objective fights, but when there isn't clear engage tools on the side of Beyond Gaming, except for the Nautilus, makes life a lot easier here for you, especially for Lil V, as he has looked a lot more comfortable in this game number 3 than the previous 2 games.
We are seeing the pivot towards the AP build here, as we have the book being completed here. Now, Beyond Gaming, still down about 3,000 gold, but they do still have a lot of time to scale up. The Drake stacking hasn't been particularly fast this game. They aren't forced into decided team fights, so it just looks like they have to scale on. And at least in the late game, at the very least, they do have double TP plays that they could throw, so they're not ever completely out of an out, I would say, but it just gets harder to execute as time goes on.
Yeah, and it will also now be the Ludens completed by Lil V. So, AP Kaisa really looking online at the moment. The W's are going to do a lot of damage. Not quite the evolution, though, because you do need 100 AP to make it work. So, it won't be super low cooldowns quite yet on the W, but it's very, very close.
We're seeing Beyond Gaming trying to set up for a decisive team fight around the Drake. They have full vision control here. Meanwhile, J-Team are showing into the top side. And just a small reminder, Uniboy has to make his way down here on foot as he doesn't have the TP. So this should be a decided advantage for Beyond Gaming, and we'll see how J-Team want to take this one. They do have Sun Poke available to them, and Driver is keeping at a very good Gnar bar. Looks like they will try to escort the mid wave in and force Beyond Gaming out of position. But no, they're actually diving in onto the vision control here. They're going to sweep away most of the vision on the top side. And Minji actually loses out on the first joust here. Driver is also just, Liang, excuse me, not in position to help out on this team fight. J-Team now with the dominating position. They're just going to go at it and start the Drake. Very well done.
Have clear position on the Dragon, especially with Liang behind on the play and wanting to hold on to that teleport to reposition. So it will be the side of J-Team securing themselves a second Dragon, and it is, of course, Mountain Soul available, which, of course, benefits this Gnar as it gives them a little bit more terrain to play around against the very fragile backline of Beyond Gaming. The Mountain Dragon stats as well will make it harder and harder for champions like LeBlanc, like Lethality, Xayah to be able to punch through their targets too.
Definitely a better soul if you have the tankier squad at your disposal. And Beyond Gaming looks like they still haven't found that combat punch. We've been waiting around for how long has it since we've seen action last? I think it's been around 8 minutes where we just had back and forth wave pushing right here. I really am starved for some blood right here. I need to see things get going. Let's see if Liang runs into Uniboy. He's checking the brush, has that sweeper, and nope. Liang, who's lost his tower 10 minutes into the game, is going to play extremely safe. And I think both teams are actually somewhat happy with this.
Yeah, this has been, a tendency of Beyond Gaming when these games, they tend to really slow down in the mid game just because they don't have the best setup when it comes to lane allocations. They look a little bit lost when it comes to approaching the map from a macro standpoint. And in this particular game, you don't have clear catch conditions, right? They don't have that big 5v5 ultimate that we talked about. It's all about trying to work the map, work the vision to create openings for this Nocturne ultimate. And as of right now, J-Team have not given them that opportunity.
If I'm looking at this map, Beyond Gaming, in theory, do have some split push potential. You know, they have double TPs plus Paranoia versus only one TP on the side of J-Team. So if they try to play things cross-map, I think they should be able to find something. But Driver is going to be the one starting this one off. And Leon has to hightail out of there. He doesn't want to stay around for this. I just feel like Beyond Gaming not able to choreograph any aggressive plays with the tools that they've been given. And a little bit disappointed in that. They will give this Kai'Sa a lot of time to scale up, and we have seen Kai'Sa in the late game. Just 2 Ws, Void Seeker onto the face will kill Wako outright. So, I have to say, like, even though both sides are probably happy not having to run face forward, here we go. Finally, the Paranoia being used, Strikebreaker down, but they're only able to get the Fear onto Kongre. Kongre has to flash back out. And he does die for the first kill right here, but Driver will chase. They find the charm onto Minji. Minji trying to fake things out, and he does survive on the backline. They also get Enso. Let's see how much time Minji can buy. He will finally die, but a 2-for-1, and that's what I wanted to see out of Beyond Gaming.
They finally end up pulling the trigger around their 1-3-1 power. Wako stepping up, trying to dissuade them from removing that ward, but it will be conceded over. Now it's going to be a battle for red buff. Kino, though, very, very low.
Driver not able to get the knockdown, and that's a lot of damage onto Little V with that Shock Blast combo from Leon. Leon's going to be chasing on for more. He's full mana. He can still find more Shock Blast and hopefully force a Baron. But it doesn't look like J-Team is going to give them that opportunity. So I think overall, a small win for Beyond Gaming. They claw back some of the gold lead, and let's watch that replay again on how they set this up.
Yeah, really just baiting them to try and finish that ward. They immediately go in right before, and they use a lot of cooldowns onto Kongria, but at the very least able to secure the kill. And then it's really just whose reinforcements are there faster. And unfortunately for the side of J Team, the fight's just a little bit too fast for Lil V to have an impact. So Beyond Gaming find their timing, work their magic, and come out a kill ahead. However, at the same time, it still doesn't fix the problems that Beyond Gaming do have with this composition, right? Because now you look, he's gone for the Zanya's Hourglass.
Uniboy, the engage is going to start. Paranoia going down already. Leona
really
does use the ultimate, but he doesn't find anyone just yet. Is Kongria going to fish for the engage? He goes in, gets a kickback onto Liang, but not the decisive stun just yet. Kino now in danger of being surrounded and killed. Driver going to find the Meganar and stay alive. So a 1-for-0 trade, and the Drake is left open. Little V still looking for the smites, and Driver doesn't have the TP. So Beyond Gaming could use this chance to push a little bit further. Indeed, they are going to go into the river right now. But Liang is so incredibly low. Can Minji find the Everfrost? Doesn't manage to get it.
Big shock blast.
Oh, Little V. The poke war so far is hanging in on the knife's edge. But J-Team, I feel like they bought enough time for finally Driver to come back here. And they do have a very big advantage into this one. Minji, though, nearly getting the kill and forcing J-Team off once more. This one is just so incredibly close. Oh, the shock blast nearly finds Little V. J-Team walk out unscathed.
Oh, unscathed, but the tension still remains very, very high here. As Beyond Gaming, you could see what Liang can do on this Jace pick. This is why he likes the pick so much. Even when behind, you are still very effective with how much damage you do bring to the table, and also, just how squishy a lot of the meta champions are, especially on the other side at the moment. No defensive stats really built up here. So no one to tank these shock blasts. You're going to get so much value out of this Jace.
I just love the graph that production showed us. We've been staying still at the same gold lead for 12 minutes right now. The board hasn't changed all of that much. The poke has gotten a lot better for Jace, but it's also gotten better for Little V. So I feel like we went from knife fight to dodgeball land. We'll see what happens in the next objective. These fights are the trickiest to call. It's very difficult to see who's actually just going to face tank a skill shot from the other team, and that could shift the balance. That's all that's required.
Yep. But one of the key differences is the fact that if Lil V lands his poke, he gets his poke a lot faster back online, whereas Liang doesn't get that extra bonus cooldown reduction. But it also kind of works both ways, right? If Lil V misses that first W, then, he doesn't get to play for a little while. It's going to be quite a long time before that W cooldown does come back. But you can see when it does land on a target with no magic resistance in Kino, he just takes such a massive chunk.
Yeah, that was with Titan's Wrath. He still took about a quarter of the HP down. Beyond Gaming now charging forward. They find the Shock Blast onto Uniboy here. And that's just about it. I feel like Beyond Gaming are feeling pretty confident now. Minji is in with the flank, and you do have a Driver going back after dropping Meganar. So Beyond Gaming reading the timings correctly. They are going to push out. And this is a siege situation we haven't seen for the entire game. The first time we're going to have a straight-up 5v5. This should be in favor. He goes the depth charge, and down goes Uniboy. He used absolutely nothing right there. Massive catch from Kino. They are going to head towards the Baron after this one.
Yeah, one of their big carries now down here for the side of J-Team. However, it's still very difficult to just run into the Baron pit against a Kaisa that is on 3 items, right? Because you are funneled in. Makes it very, very difficult to then sidestep these Void Seekers. So it will be Beyond Gaming only be able to secure mid tower along with that one kill. And it really just slows down the game for another 2 minutes while we await for this Dragon Soul to spawn.
I just want to say that J Team has not won against Nautilus this entire postseason. So I believe there is a curse going on here. For some reason, Nautilus, when playing against J Team, the Q becomes a targeted ability. It actually just goes through minion waves, it can turn around corners, it disregards towers for some reason, and Beyond Gaming are proving that that's the point. The gold graph is going down the first time in 12 minutes. This has actually moved on the board. It's going into Beyond Gaming's favor. And I just wonder if J-Team can actually break the curse. Can they break the curse of this marooned Marine here from Nautilus? It seems like we have yet to see it happen.
Yeah, now it will be Beyond Gaming securing position around this dragon at the onset of the spawn here. Of course, still, decent chunk of time before it actually spawns, right? 45 seconds, but everything's setting up very well for them. They have the wave clear in the mid lane. They will get mid lane priority. Still 30 seconds until the dragon, so there will be one more wave showing up in that mid lane before it spawns. But as it stands, solid vision control, and the only vision garnered by the J team is going to be that Scuttle Crab.
Driver is at a pretty good position with his Gnar bar, and to set things up, J-Team, if they get this Drake, it will be the Mountain Soul. Massive when you're trying to play a poke war with your opponent here. Let's see how J-Team find their way into the pit, though. Beyond Gaming are staying outside of vision. They get a lot of free damage right here. Midgie going in for a little bit more. Nearly finds a chain onto Little V. And so far, the poke war does favor Beyond Gaming just a little bit. The J-Team has found themselves into River. Driver cutting off the flank here. But the Dragon does reset out of nowhere. Can he find the Mega Gnar? Doesn't find it, but he stays alive, though. Oh, they're so low. Everyone is getting down to the wire. The poke war is here. Uniboy nearly goes down. Has to drop into stasis. Can they secure the Mountain Soul? They will find it. J-Team are going to charge forward. They find the charge onto Liang. That's going to be the first kill. But Enzo goes down. But the TP comes back in. Little V with the instant double kill into the backline. He is going to pincer Beyond Gaming. Wako has nowhere to go. He's going to hopefully get out, but he falls down to Driver as he charges back, and Minji is down. J-Team win, and they win big.
J-Team managed to find the fight. They get the Mountain Soul on top of it, and it's just such a clear, massive fight win for the side of Taipei J-Team. They'll be able to get themselves this mid-tier 2, get themselves that Baron buff, and now the gold lead in a lot more decisive position here, sitting at 5,000 gold when it just sat plateaued at 3k for such a long time, even shifting very close to Beyond Gaming be able to take the lead at one point. But after that win, after that Baron, things become a lot clearer for J-Team to end this game.
Love this play from Driver. He knows how much damage
Everyone's
he can
just
take.
So low.
Oh, it's so fun to watch these dodgeball fights, but Driver goes in and starts things off, and then he comes back with the TP as well. Critical play here, Uniboy actually manages to find the charm onto Liang, taking down the main dodgeball arm on the side of Beyond Gaming, and afterwards, it's cleanup for Little V. Gets the insta double kill, and then finishes off the fight by just making sure Beyond Gaming has nowhere to run.
Yeah, and you can see when Beyond Gaming are missing that clear engage tool, they're a little bit lost, but
do have engage, but I don't
reinforcements here.
Yeah, they did no damage to Driver. He's building so much AD at this point. And goes Little V for the insta-kill. He has a stasis as well. He's going to stay perfectly fine. And Uniboy closes the trap on the back. They lose Little V in the procession, but it doesn't matter. They get everyone else. Kino with a flash, trying to get out. I don't think this one's going to matter as J-Team barrel down on into the base here. Kino just trying to waste as much time as possible, but he's got nowhere to... Oh, okay, maybe he gets out.
There's Nautilus, Spider not.
Is this homecoming for Spider-Man? I don't think so.
It's Fountain coming.
I guess that does count as homecoming as well, just of a different sort, from a different angle. if you may. Beyond Gaming now having to fight for their lives. Minji trying to get some damage on Enzo, not going to get it through the Eclipse right here, and the base is wide open.
Yep, wide open for the taking. J-Team, they could even look to end the game because of how little wave clear is on the side of Beyond Gaming. Their only source is this Xayah pick, and she's already chunked out.
Paranoia going down just to save Wako here. And Beyond Gaming find even more damage in the darkness. Doesn't look like it. And Uniboy gets the charm on Husha. Down goes the jungler. Minji can't trade one back. In the back, Nexus towers are going down. This is just about taking down the base. Will J-Team stay for this one? Enzo still going in, but he doesn't find the last auto attacks. The cannon minions, though. The J-Team fans are roaring to life. The emotes go down. Wako stuttering for some reason. And J-Team find their first lead in a best of 5 series.
It is going to be a Taipei J-Team rising up to the challenge in game number 3, coming out to a 2-1 scoreline. And for Beyond Gaming, this looks very reminiscent from their first series, where they took the first game in very, very stomp fashion, but then failed to find adaptations in games 2 and 3, and looked very, very lost. We'll see how they respond in game number 4, but so far looking like a fantastic pace for J-Team to just close out in 4.
I can't help but draw parallels, as you mentioned, to the DCG series, because it's following exactly the same track in games 2, 3, and 4. DCG figured out that if they just play a tank in the top side, number one, we haven't really seen Leon being able to just win lane outright. Number 2, the tank champions absolutely kill Beyond Gaming's game plan, because they only play assassins mid lane, and they are stuck to Xayah